I'm going to do another follow-up to this square of 9 video that I put out. I'm going to throw a little twist into this now. I want to go back and just review the multiplier. On the square of 9, the multiplier for the full 360-degree move around is 2. So the square of 9 is divided by the cardinal and the ordinal cross into 8 45-degree sections. So what we would want to do, we got to take our multiplier, and to get a 45-degree factor for that, we take our multiplier for the full cycle of 2, divide that by 8, and that gives us a 0.25 multiplier or divisor for moving up or down on the square of 9. So I want to use that. I want to adjust my spoke on the intraday chart. So after my initial calculation, which was the 0.225, I could go ahead and I could add the increments of 0.25 to that, but that's going to be a pretty wide gap on the intraday chart on the smaller frame. So I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to use the 0.125 as a multiplier, which would be a 22.5 degree equivalent. So I'm going to use the same chart, the same swing, the same high, just so you can take a look at the two videos and see the difference. So I've left my first level in play, and what I'm doing then, I'm going to increment the 22.5 degrees. Change my note there. I'm going to take the 22.5 degree increments because I'm going to use that 0.125, and I'm going to add that to my 0.225. So what I'm going to do is take 0.225 plus 0.125. That gives me 0.35. And then keep adding the 0.125 to each successive number. And that's going to give me my factor to use when I take the square root of the 5380. So what you're going to do is take the square root of 5380, subtract the multiplier like I showed in the first video, and then re-square it. It's going to give you that level. So in this price action that we're looking at here, I was able to add the first 5 levels up to the 0.85. The 0.975 would have put us out of the price action. So I marked those out, and the first approach is always the most important, but these will give you support and resistance later. So really what I'm doing here, I've altered the spoke on the wheel. So instead of using the cardinal and ordinal cross, I took my first calculation, and that was the anchor point for the spoke. So that would have been my cardinal cross, so to speak. And then I went with those 22.5 degree increments from there. But you can see what happened. The first level was the first one from the video yesterday. That was the 0.225. The next one down stopped the market on the next push. That kicked it sideways, bounced around. The first time is always the most important, but you can see how these levels are active into the future. That's why I boxed the red rectangle around those areas. The next level down was immediately breached. That was the only one that was breached, so I have no arrow there. Just put the word breached in there. You can see in the future we did have support and resistance in that area. The next level was hit and immediately bounced right back off there. It went back up 2 levels up to here, came back down, went through the next level right down to the last level I have plotted, which was the low. So that one just missed hitting that low. And then you can see down the road, even the one that was breached became significant support here. And then this bottom level here was hit twice again in the future before we got into the bigger bull move. Anyhow, just want to show that that's a little twist and a little tweak, and that's how you can use the square of 9 on a smaller intraday frame. Now, there are multiple number wheels. The square of 9 may not even be the best number wheel for this market, but it does work pretty well. One thing I would say, if you take what I've shown here in this video and the prior one, and you think about ways that you could possibly extrapolate this out to develop some other formulas or to get some direct precision on this to make specific end of swing projections, if you think about that and work with this, you'll be able to figure out how to expand the thinking on this and take it to another level.